everybody, welcome back. Unboxing time, and it is here again. I was gonna say another month, but I'm trying to get caught up. We're here to watch some more. Oh, I didn't pose in the last one. I'm so out of practice. We're here to unbox another edition and review movies for Horror Pack. Ooh. All right, so again, I like to remind you that Horror Pack does send these to me for free. I'm not paid, it's not sponsored, I can say whatever I want. And I did subscribe to this service on my own for the longest time. I just got to a place where once we got rid of all the boxes, we were kind of getting rid of everything. And this was one I was really on the fence about, and then I didn't because I owned so many of the movies. But they apparently just enjoy my silly reviews, and so they're very nice to send it to me for free, and I very much appreciate it. And if you want to check out Horror Pack, I have a code that'll get you a discount for $3 off. Use the code BLOODYBUTTS, BLOODYBUTTS, all one word. That should get you $3 off at checkout at your new subscription. It's about $25 a month for the Blu Ray set. You can also get a DVD set, and they're always going to give you at least 4 movies, and one of those is going to be an exclusive that you can only get in their box as of the time of release, at least in the United States. Usually sometimes has different art, has different features sometimes, and I'm a huge physical collector, so I appreciate that. I also like to preface this with, I have a massive 8,000 physical title collection. I'm not the biggest in the world, but I've got a big collection, and I often have everything in here except the exclusive, but hey, it gives me an excuse to revisit those movies. But then sometimes I'm surprised, like January, I didn't know any of those movies. That was a hell of a surprise. So now we're gonna jump into this puppy and we're gonna see what we think. So we're gonna open these, I'm gonna read the box, show you the box, read the box, and then of course I'm gonna watch all of them. I usually rope Mary into at least one every episode, and we'll give you our thoughts on said movies. So this one my dad did not think was a book that he needed to open. And again, I very much apologize, Horror Pack. Nobody's pressuring me. I'm amazed you didn't just stop sending them to me thinking I was not going to review them, because I am. I love this. I just got really behind. So it always comes like this on the inside of the box. We have a little open flap. It's always great quality. Now I do tend to just peek at the spine, just the bottom tip of the spine, trying to find that that number that tells me which way to open the package. So we're gonna kind of squint, we're gonna kind of look, okay, yeah, we're good, we're good. Okay, no spoilers for me. So let's see what our first movie is. What do we get? I'm so excited. I'm in a huge movie watching mood right now, so it's perfect. Let's see, what are we getting for February? February. Wow, I'm surprised this is in here. And you know what? I'm excited to rewatch this because I really liked this. This is pretty recent and pretty new. But first up, we have The Forever Purge. Quick mini review. I really liked it. I'm excited to rewatch it. So of course we have the back of the box. We have that. I have this in 4K. I'll just watch my copy. Oh, and that's the other thing I love is I am part of the Mutant family, the Joe Bob Briggs, the Last Drive-In. And of course we have those local mutant meetups. And this is the best thing. And I hope the people at Horror Pack love this too. Usually if I get duplicates of movies, I'll just go resell them. Because I don't need, if it's the exact same copy or whatever, I don't need it. And if I sell it at half price books, I'm gonna get what, 50 cents? So I've stopped doing that and I'm saving these. And now we have these every 3 months Mutant Family meetups locally. And we all just take movies out there to trade. I just take a bunch of movies and give them to fellow horror fans that haven't seen them and are gonna appreciate them. So since I'm kind of, what is it when you you pay it forward? I am paying it forward, Horror Pack. Thank you for sending me these boxes for free. That's where they go, unless I don't have them, because I'm a selfish son of a bitch and I'm gonna keep them when I don't. Okay, so anyways, back of the box, I already showed you all this. All right, The Forever Purge, one of the best Purge movies yet. It's up there, this is pretty damn good. One night is not enough as members of an underground movement, no longer satisfied with the annual night of anarchy and murder, decide to overtake America. Through an unending campaign of mayhem and massacre, no one is safe. On the morning after the purge, a masked gang of killers attacks a wealthy Texas ranching family and their workers. Exposed by daylight, the two families are forced to band together and fight back as the country spirals into chaos and the United States begins to disintegrate around them. Bonus features include a deleted scene, an alternate storyboard opening, collapsing the system behind this Forever Purge, and a creep-tastic wardrobe. We are running an hour and 45 minutes, directed by Everardo. I'm sorry, I can't read it. It's dark in here. It doesn't look that dark to you, but it's pretty dark to me. I'm an old man eyes. Rated R, I really loved it. Actually, this kind of makes me want to rewatch the entire Purge series. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of do. Is there a new Purge movie coming out? Can I watch this whole series in time and do a ranking video? Because that sounds fun, but hell's yeah, good call. Good call, but that's gonna find a nice home at the Mutant Fam Meetup. All right, number 2 for February. By the way, go watch Fred's Horror Corner. I think that's still the name of his channel. Love that guy. He does Horror Pack. I love that guy. All right, number 2. What do we get? We get... Okay, I know this movie. I don't own this movie, and I'm terribly excited to have a reason to watch this movie because I heard it's awful, but that just probably means I'm gonna love it. Oh, wow. Okay, we have The Fanatic. I'm so glad Mary's up here to hear this if she doesn't recognize what this is. This is the directorial debut, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, let me get my flashlight so I can see. Actually, would you hand me that flashlight over there? It just may be faster for reading some of this. Because do you know what this movie is, Mary? The Fanatic? John Travolta?
It sounds vaguely familiar.
Do you know why it sounds vaguely familiar? Yes, I'm correct. Do you want to guess who the director of this is?
John Travolta?
No, it's a directorial debut. They've never made a movie before. I have no idea if they're ever make one again.
No, I have no idea.
What if he made this movie and it was all for the nookie?
Oh, Fred Durst?
Yes, Fred Durst directed this movie. Oh my God, I'm excited to see this. I don't know if it's violent or gory, but I have a feeling Mary might, out of morbid curiosity, want to see this too. So there's the box, there's the cover. I'm gonna use this light to read it. Okay, I'm an old man. I don't need that actually. Effective and chilling work by John Travolta in the traditional stalker/fans in movies such as Misery and The King of Comedy. I'm sorry, I cannot read that. I should probably have. Oh, that's Richard Roper of the Chicago Sun-Times. On the grimy streets of Hollywood, a celebrity-obsessed man, John Travolta, feels slighted by his favorite movie star and embarks on an unhinged quest to get a response, leading to a home invasion and a very long night that changes both men irreparably. Dude, that's gonna be so fun. Is that, wait, is that, hold on, I'm gonna use this to read this. Who is the man? Because it looks like Devon Sawa. It is Devon Sawa! Oh! Idle Hands, Final Destination. You aren't watching the Chucky TV series. You'd probably recognize him if you saw him. He was in a lot of the 90s like teen comedies. Oh, this gets better and better and better. And like I said, I don't have this, and I've always meant to see this. And John Travolta, Fred Durst produced it. Yes, and it is a tight 89 minutes, rated R. Yes, I am way more excited about that movie than I should be. Okay, let's move on. Let's see what number 3 is before we get to the exclusive. And this has a slipcover. This is quality right here. Ooh, I do not have this or know this. I might know this, but I believe it's called Open 24 Hours. Pray you never run out of gas. Compelling says Bloody Disgusting. Awesome says We Live Entertainment. Welcome to the graveyard shift. Oh, I don't know this, but this looks quality. This looks fantastic. Look at, like, you know, you can kind of tell from the production design on the photos. Okay. Oh, it's not rated either. Don't Breathe meets House of the Devil. I'm in. Take my money. I don't need to. You already gave it to me. A paranoid, delusional woman, Mary White, has just been released from a mental hospital for setting her serial killer's boyfriend on fire. Oh, setting her serial killer boyfriend on fire. I was so confused. I was like, she set her serial killer's boyfriend. Like, what? Anyways, Mary suffers from severe paranoia and hallucinations. Her boyfriend, James Lincoln Fields, is a brutal serial killer known as the Rain Ripper. He enjoyed murdering people and making Mary watch. Hey, this sounds like us. No, I'm kidding. After being released from the hospital, Mary's vulnerable demeanor aids her in obtaining employment at an all-night gas station. However, left alone to her own devices, her paranoia and hallucination returns with furious consequences. Customers and friends suddenly start turning up dead and mutilated all around her. Bonus features included, a director's commentary that is becoming such a rarity. I'm so sad. Alternate ending, the making of Open 24 Hours documentary. Hell yeah, Z Studios. I don't know them. Let's see. I don't know any of that. Oh, Brendan Fletcher shows back up. We talked about him in this box or last box. I don't remember. Writer and director Padraig Reynolds? Padraig Reynolds. Not rated, 103 minutes. Beautiful slipcover, like shiny slipcover too. It's got that metallic sheen to it. pretty much the same under and above. And this is not a knock on them. It's just a random thing that popped in my mind. I don't understand why you do that. It's great having slipcovers. I love it. It makes it feel like a more premium thing. But what is the point in having a slipcover if it's going to be exactly the same underneath? I feel like that's a great opportunity for alternate art or something. This is not a horror pack complaint. It's just a random thought popped in my brain. Anyways, very excited for that. All right, let's see what this exclusive is so we can get to the reviews. And we have... Oh, this looks interesting. Horror Pack Limited Edition Blu Ray. Bad Dreams, the Best of Nightmares, Film Festival 2022. So this is like a short film thing. That'd be pretty cool. You know what? Again, now often, as is the case with Horror Pack, I give them a lot of poop, friendly, loving poop, over their limited edition designs. Because if you're a physical collector, part of that is you want really cool design work. Often they have really good front covers because it's already the key art the filmmakers have commissioned. This does look like quality printing, like last time was really quality printing. The back of this box is a slight step back, but I think the last month it was I think it was like getting key art. I think somebody else had designed it. I feel like this might be a Horror Pack design. While not perfect, much, much better. We actually have a lot of shots. They look fairly well printed. It's missing like a credit block and some things like that, but here is the cover. It's pretty awesome. Again, I'm being super nitpicky. It doesn't matter. The movie is what really matters, but all right, let's check this out. 10, oh yes, okay, I'm gonna be down for this. I love shorts. We don't get enough shorts. 10 more terrifying tales from your darkest nightmares. Hashtag better horror. Nightmares Film Festival sets itself apart from other genre fests by its deep year-round connection to the horror filmmaking community, which gives it the first line on the rarest, scariest, most daring, and most unsettling films being curated around the country. This collection of films, curated directly from the 2022 program, overflows with a unique mix of subjects, powerful voices, and boundary-pushing stories. Nightmare Film Festival has been named one of the world's top horror film festivals by every major genre outlet, and these films exemplify the outstanding quality of the 2022 festival. 10 short films. They are not giving me a running time. It is all in stereo, all region. So we'll see. We'll see. This should make for an interesting review. All right, well, there you go. That is what we got in the February horror pack, and it's the February horror pack, so I love it. All right. So here we go. Here's what we got. Let's do some reviews. Burp. Burp. The Purge is in effect. So again, I watched the Forever Purge. Now, I have a 4K. Also didn't feel like digging for it, so I just watched the surprisingly only HD, not 4K version they have on HBO Max. It's still awesome. It's still one of the best Purge movies. It made me want to go back and consider actually going back and rewatching all of them, which I'm going to do, but I want to get through the horror pack stuff first. But this was a great one. I love the concept of it, and I love watching it the first time, and I still felt this a little this time, that, you know, during experiencing the Purge, you keep waiting for the other shoe to drop, and then it's like, the big surprise is, oh, the Purge is over, and we didn't really see anything go down with any of our main characters. Interesting. But then, of course, we move into the Forever Purge, which is just a wonderful extension and continuation of this universe. It's a proper idea. It's very relevant for the time. It's a little terrifying in that relevancy. I think the only saving grace is in real world. I don't think you'd see those numbers required to make something like this happen. I would hope to think that's not the case. I think most of us are a little bit more rational, but also we haven't lived under the Purge for all many years. I think the characters are great. The character stories they're telling, the idea of like the lady used to fight the cartels, and that's why they had to flee Mexico, and like that revealed to some people, like really combine them. I like that you play with some of the tropes and the stereotypes of like who should be absolutely a racist, but isn't really that racist. I mean, you could argue maybe mildly, but not in any kind of way hateful. Just, you know, with the whole idea of like, I don't dislike other people. I just think we should all stick to our own kind. And it's like, okay, that's still a little wrong. And of course, the movie talks about that, you know, because like, well, we're all in this together now. But I thought that was pretty good. And I love the dad. We've seen in lots and lots of movies, the farmhand, rancher dad, not farmhand, but rancher dad. And then there's some really cool little relationships going on. You actually care about these characters, and when bad things happen to them, you feel it. You definitely root for the bad guys to get their comeuppance. There's some fun trickery about how people get in and out. I love the idea that we have to flee to Mexico. There's a couple of things I found pretty interesting too, is like they talk about like 3 million people made it to the Mexican border, and I'm like, ooh, isn't there like 400 or 500 million Americans? That's not a big percentage. Also, I find it interesting in the beginning, they just gloss over it. It's like, well, the American people voted the NFF back in, or whatever they are, the TFF, whatever. I was like, and at first I was like, well, that's a nice way to gloss over that. It doesn't seem to make sense. Then I remembered what world we live in, and I was like, it makes more sense than I wish it would. When people see such horrible things right before them, shown to them, proven to them, and hey, let's do it again. What? Why? But, again, outside of its relevance politically and culturally, it's just a cool movie. Like, it's action-packed. It's got a good vibe. The crazies are crazy. The shootouts are fun. Well, I mean, as fun as they can be. And, I just really like this universe. I would not want to live in it, that's for sure. But I'm excited to see more. I think we do have another one coming, don't we? I mean, they did set up for a sequel in here. So I guess, you can have, like, Purge World or something, or World War Purge. Ooh, World War Purge. That would be kind of a cool title, I think. World War P. WWP. Oh, yeah. I like it. Steal it. Use it if you want. Anyways, I really enjoyed The Forever Purge, and I appreciate Horror Pack giving me the opportunity to rewatch it. I just almost wish they'd given me one of the earlier ones, so I'd feel more inclined to be like, oh, cool, I watched part 2.
So I made Mary watch The Fanatic because she likes Limp Bizkit. I'm not making fun of her for that. I don't mind Limp Bizkit.
I don't like Limp Bizkit. I like a couple of the songs.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. Wow, that was a thing. It was not quite as bad as I thought, but it was not good. I have some real issues with this.
It's one of those things, if it had been a little worse, it would have been better.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sort of the problem, is it, in some ways it's very middle of the road, where if it had been a little worse, it would have been better. If it had been a little better, it would have been better. But where it sits, you're just kind of baffled, like, they thought this was a good script? They thought this was a finished script that was ready for filming? Somebody told John Travolta his choices for the character were good choices? This is going to be a negative review. I'm going to tell you right now. There might be some spoilers. Hi, Napoleon. I'll try to... it's probably going to be kind of spoilery. It's probably going to be spoilery. We watched it on Prime because I didn't want to open my disc right now. Where to begin? It's a lot of little nitpicks I want to make that add up to something awful. Let's do a positive. I thought Devon Sawa was actually great in his role. I thought he committed. I thought he did really good with what he was given. His character's dumb, but
yeah,
he's like an LA actor, struggling actor type. Those people tend to be kind of dumb sometimes.
The thing is, he's not struggling. Not according to his house.
Well, I shouldn't have said struggling. That was, but a working actor. Struggling with his own career. Struggling in the sense of, he wants more out of his life. He's got a struggling life.
Right. Now, I have to say, with his character, I kept going back and forth on that. Probably theoretically the easier, better way would have been okay, yeah, this guy's operating on a different level. Should probably just be nice and he'll get out of my hair.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't. I know where you're coming from, but you can't be mad about that. That's human nature. That's real. That was real to me. Yeah. That somebody would be dumb and not take the smart opportunities.
But the thing is, I'm sitting here going but even if you do something like that, then you still run into the problem of, will they actually go away, or will it just make things worse?
Right.
It's
well,
if you feed the wildlife.
Yeah, but even in what you're saying is at least then you have an opportunity to call the cops or whatever. But well, first let's okay. So I thought Devon Sawa was pretty good. I do like, and I bet this is how they convinced him to do it. If you know the old Eminem, if you know where the term "standing" comes from, we're standing this couple. It comes from the Stan Eminem video that starred Devon Sawa as the obsessive fan stalking Eminem and writing him a letter about "Dear Eminem." So there is a moment when Travolta's writing a letter to Devon Sawa's character, and I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. That's kind of a neat little thing. So I want to put some positives out there before I get into a bunch of specific negatives. Also, I had to apologize to Mary for the end. I don't want to spoil it, but there was a couple of theoretically gruesome moments of violence. One pretty well done. One so dark I didn't realize what it was. She had to tell me. I was like, oh, that is what happened. And I was like, okay. So I won't say that it was well done, but there's a couple of moments of brutality. Otherwise, it's a pretty flat film in regards to gore or horror element. But I guess there's a thing with the maid. I think it's supposed to be
more suspense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even on Amazon, it's called suspense, drama, eerie, intense. I don't know that it's very suspenseful because I didn't. That's my biggest, one of my biggest negatives. My general important thing about movies. I don't care about anybody in this. I didn't think I was supposed to feel bad for anybody in this. Everybody is wrong. You could theoretically feel bad for John Travolta's character because technically, you know, he's not an average mentality, for lack of a better term. But his portrayal of that was so...
He's nearly divergent.
Extremely, yeah, but I don't know, man. His performance was really off-putting to me, and not in like an unnerving, interesting way. More like, oh, I feel like you made some really horrible acting choices. Like he's trying to commit to it, but it's not. It feels like it wasn't well researched or committed enough. Now, granted, I don't have that much experience with people with these issues.
I've kind of known some similar people, and it was them like amped up to 11.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, I've known people, you know, that are not. God, what is the acceptable term here other than neurodivergent? Because neurodivergent's so broadly general. I desperately do not intend to offend anybody here. If I use an incorrect term, please, I apologize. It's not my intention. Because also, like, we're really just talking about a movie, you know. Because I mean, I've known people, and you're right. It's like they went too hard with it. But seriously, I'm not supposed to care about. Who the fuck am I supposed to care about in this movie? Also, why do you have the photographer chick being a narrator? In the beginning of the movie, the end of the movie, okay, kind of works, kind of makes sense. But there's a couple of times randomly in the middle of the fucking movie that her narration comes in, and I'm like, the fuck's the point of the narration here?
It feels like one of those things where there was probably more of it in the original draft, and it just slowly got whittled out, and then they didn't realize that they should just cut.
Yeah, more of it. Yeah.
Now my thing is kind of like, what's with the artwork?
Actually, I didn't mind the artwork. That felt like there's at least some kind of artistic flair going on here. Because again, I'm going to cut Fred Durst some slack that this was a directorial debut. I don't know, he maybe did some music videos, but you know, I mean, to be a first film, now granted he had more money than most people do on their first film, and a clearly talented production team, because, you know, cinematography, all that stuff, it's good for a lower budget film. So I didn't quite mind the animation. I mean, you're right, it doesn't...
Well, the thing is, it would have tied in better.
But drawings.
It would have tied in better if, like, maybe that was like one of his side gigs that he did. He's like, you know, instead of trying to like busk like that, he'd be one of those people who tries to sell art on the street.
The buskers.
So.
Yeah, I can see how you could play
that,
it in.
I feel like that would have tied in better.
Yeah. So since you mentioned the buskers, like, that really annoys me too. Now, granted, I get it. If you're lower budget, you aren't going to license people, but sure, the extreme magician, like, I could see somebody like that being on Hollywood Boulevard or whatever and busking, but people aren't out there just being random made up characters. You know, so like, why is he being a British cop, Bobby? Like, other than budgetarily, it's like, okay.
Yeah, again, that's one of those things. It's going like, you could see, I could almost see, like, if he was like, if they were showing him as a kid, instead of watching, was it Night of the Living Dead? Watching like an old Keystone's Cops
or Benny
movie.
Hill or something. Yeah. Also too, because this is what I was gonna say. It's like, well, you could argue it's like, well, they couldn't afford the licensing. Well, right to your budget. Because the whole point of him having that job on Hollywood Boulevard was clearly to say he has a love of film in Hollywood. Well, have him work in like a fucking movie theater and getting picked on by the other employees or some shit. That would have made that make more sense than what they were able to do with what they did here. Plus, Mario was annoyed seeing the same extras over multiple nights, filming Marilyn Monroe over and over multiple nights. So that's the kind of thing that I will nitpick. It's like, right to your budget. If you can't afford to do something properly, find a different way to do it and get that story across.
Yeah, and honestly, I'd be more willing to believe that he can make anything that approaches a living working at a movie theater rather than doing what he was doing on the street.
Even if he's like just a janitor in like an old, a legacy theater that's going to be shutting down or whatever. You could even play the trope of the kind old owner that, doesn't want to put him out of a job, but he has like these douchey managers. Like it could have played better than how it played. But okay, whatever. So there's that. I'm also really annoyed. This movie was from 2019, and I'm going to use a word here only because it's used in the movie, and to get my point across. A couple of times early, the photographer lady, who apparently is like supposed to be the nicest person in the movie, literally calls people celebritards while she's talking to John Travolta's character, and I'm like, why are you? I mean, I can understand an asshole, an evil character, or a character you're really actively supposed to be rooting against using language like that in a 2019 movie. And that's like part of the character to make you dislike them. But you're supposed to kind of like her. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck, Fred Durst, who co-wrote this movie, by the way. So he does take some responsibility in writing. I'll let him off the hook for some of the direction. I'm not letting him off the hook for the writing. The writing was pretty piss poor.
I had a thought. This could be a completely inaccurate thought.
Okay.
But
this is a long ass review.
So the whole point of this movie is he's a stalker. He doesn't want to admit it, he's a stalker.
He doesn't understand he's a stalker. Yeah.
Thing is, paparazzi are all technically stalkers.
Yeah, I wish they kind of played more into that too. That could have been a more interesting parallel to throw in with her.
The difference, I think, being is that where he's deeply invested in the person he's stalking, she's not.
Yeah.
She. I mean, it's just a photo and a paycheck.
Yeah.
And the difference in like language and stuff. He loves his guy.
Yeah.
She calls once she's after celebritards. And that's sort of.
But still, that's not my point. But okay.
But I'm saying it is showing sort of a delineation between types of stalking.
Yeah, but I don't know that if you want us to care about this character in 2019, again, if this was like in 1999, I'm not excusing it, but that was more accepted vernacular at the time. Listen, I certainly used words like that back in the day before I came to understand that, that certain words can hurt certain people, and just because I don't understand it and it doesn't bother me doesn't mean it's not hurtful to those people. And you know what? It's not that hard to cut a fucking word out of your vocabulary if it's going to help a lot of people's lives be easier. So I don't know. That just bothered me. That feels like a holdover from the frat boy, frat rock persona of a Fred Durst. And I'm like, why are you still doing that in 2019? I think that's why it got under my skin more than anything. Especially because there's nobody to fucking like in this movie. Like, I don't like anybody. Even the fucking kid is shitty just because he's just there as a fucking prop. And by the way, how did Devon Sawa never, ever fucking find the fucking housekeeper in his yard? After like 2 days.
Yeah, that was the thing of, did you not go looking?
Right, like, we can understand if it was even a day, maybe, but it had been a couple of days. Like, come on, dude.
Apparently the gardener didn't come back the next day.
Right, that either. Although I do kind of, even though I think it was undercooked and again, spoilers, was not very well done. But what they're suggesting at the end was kind of neat. I think they could have played into that more. But like Mary said, if you really do the forensics of it, but who knows if they really will. Because, we know how things work in this day and age. Not everybody always does their jobs properly. And people pay consequences for it sometimes. People jump to conclusions, guilty until proven innocent. But it is kind of neat what they tried to, and I'm trying to be mildly vague about it, but it is kind of neat what they tried. There's a cool idea in the ending that wasn't as well executed as it could have been. So again, I feel like it's a very undercooked script. Like, they might have, if they had done 3 more passes on this script, taken another year and given it 3 more passes, they might have actually cooked up a really good script here. But it's just very undercooked, man. Also, this movie immediately pissed me off. I should throw that out there. When they fucking threw shade at the Maniac remake. Alexandra Aja's Elijah Wood starring remake of Maniac. The original Maniac is a great 80s gore classic exploitation. William Lustig, and I'm totally blanking on the actor's name, who is amazing and not with us anymore. I wasn't asking you. But amazing effects by Tom Savini. It's just a classic, sleazy 42nd Street style grindhouse film. And, you know, but the Alexander Aja point of view, almost the entire movie... Spoilers if you haven't seen it. Mild spoilers if you haven't seen it, because I want to tell her. The whole thing is like Elijah Wood is the killer, and it's all through his point of view the entire movie, except if he sees himself in a mirror, except, and this is the spoiler, skip funeral, when he kills, he kind of leaves his body. So like the camera comes out and shows you, and like and the music in it is incredible, and it's generally regarded as one of the great horror remakes. So for this movie to shit on that in the first 5 minutes put a real bad taste in my mouth right out of the gate. But also, while he's shitting on it, I noticed, yeah, this is a motherfucker that has a poster for Texas Chainsaw 3D hanging amongst all his horror collectibles. Like, come on. I don't hate that movie, but come on. Really? You're going to shit on the Maniac remake? Fuck you, movie. I literally flipped off the screen. It made me mad. So there's that. Yeah. There was some other things I probably wanted to bitch about in here, too, but... I would have liked to see more of the fake movies from Devon Sawa, which again, if he had been working in a movie theater, they could have been like, you could have done a whole thing. God, this makes so much more sense. Let's rewrite it. So instead of him having a collector shop buddy, they're doing a film retrospective of all of Hunter's movies at the movie theater guy is working at. And that's where he's coming to sign. And like, he's nice to him the first time, which makes him think John Travolta has a chance to be his friend. He gives him that one little, like, I'm just being a nice guy to this guy that works here. And then he takes it wrong, is like, oh, we're now best friends. I'm going to go to his house. And you could have basically done almost the same movie, but with a way better connection and setup.
Yeah. The thing is, that's the sort of thing as women have to deal with all the time. We're nice to y'all, and it suddenly think you all have ownership. It's
well, yeah, I mean, hey, I get it. I mean, obviously, I don't understand it as well as people who have experienced it, but I can put myself in shoes enough to have some understanding of that. So yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that would have played better than anything they did here, because that would have established him truly. It would have given a reason for him to feel like he really had more of a connection than he did. Other than it just being like, oh, well, this guy's brain doesn't work right or doesn't work the same as everybody, so that's why. Which seems more condescending than if you gave it a good moment like that, which would then also be allegorical to what you're talking about. And damn, man. And then honestly, it makes me wonder, like, if you did the version I just said with the movie theater with that connection, like if you made the John Travolta character a woman, you know, a neurodivergent. I wish I had a better word because neurodivergent isn't quite enough. You know, that mentally handicapped, I guess is the word I'm looking for. I don't know. Is that still accepted vernacular? I guess.
No, I don't think so.
Is it not? I mean, it seems
that's why we have neurodivergent.
Technically. Yeah, but I mean, technically, like, I'm neurodivergent. I mean, so many people are. So it's like, I feel like that's too general a term. You know, there's extreme. How do you differentiate levels within that? Basically.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Anyways, we try our best to be nice. You know, we give a shit about people. We care about you. You know, to a certain point.
Not to where you can come in our house.
Exactly. Exactly. The only people that come in this house are her and me on occasion. If you know what I mean, and I think you do. And on that note, I feel like there's other things I wanted to complain about, but... also, early, the shop owner. This jacket is $800. You know what? I like you. I'll sell it to you for $3. I could see coming down. I could see, but like, from 8 to 3?
You know it's a knockoff, don't you?
I know, right? Shit. Oh my God. At least it was a merciful tight. Oh, I have one more complaint. 89 minutes. But of course, we knew it was coming. At one point, they play some Limp Bizkit in the car. Like, it's like in the movie. Like, he's like, hey, son, you like Limp Bizkit?
It's not even like a best hit.
Like, we like Limp Bizkit. Like, we're not like
honestly,
super fans, but
it's like we didn't recognize it. And I swear to God, it sounded like the most generic rock track.
And even by the time the vocals come in, I'm still like, is that Limp Bizkit? It still doesn't sound anything like what. So, you know, but Jesus.
And the other thing is, the extreme magic guys is going like, why do you want him to be your pickpocket?
Yeah, he's not going to be good. He's not going to be good at that.
What about that makes you think he's going to be good at it?
Yeah, that's another really what the fuckery. That's what we're saying. Like, there could have been there are the elements here to have been something good, but it is not held together well, and that's why I'm baffled. There's like 1,100 reviews on Amazon Prime, and it has a 3.5 star out of 5. It's like 2.5, okay, 3 maybe, but 3.5 out of 5. What?
Oh.
I can't believe this is like one of the longest horror pack reviews ever. This is like one of our membership reviews for a Star Wars show. We're almost at 20 minutes.
No, this is where we basically sit down and start rewriting the movie like we did with Hide and Seek.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what we just did. Like, which is that simple change of that he works in a movie theater. All these characters work in a movie theater, and that's where the signing is. Like, that would have made a tremendous difference to the setup for everything.
Yeah.
Shit. But anyways, I'm grateful for the experience. The opening definitely made me want to go watch Best Friends by Greg Sestero, and who was my best friend. And we just kept thinking, like, Tommy Wiseau really needs to pop up in this somewhere.
And that's the other thing. It's like, rather than the guy trying to get him the pickpocket, but you'd want somebody going like, hey, can you just nick that poster or whatever for me? So
yeah, that could have been interesting. Now, just funny thought on the way out here. I think in either the Devon Sawa or the John Travolta role, I just imagine Tommy Wiseau playing either of those roles, and it's immediately more fantastic. In either of those roles. Like, what if this John Travolta was stalking Tommy Wiseau? Or you had Tommy trying to play a role like that. Like, Tommy's great as Tommy. But him, like, trying to make a role like that would be...
He just give Tommy the script and just tell him to go.
Yeah.
Don't give him any direction
and
to what his character's about. Just go.
And that's like, I don't want you to take this wrong. That is not in any way a knock about Tommy. There is a magic about Tommy Wiseau that I absolutely adore. So it's not like I'm like, oh, I'm laughing because he'd be horrible. I'm like, no, I'm laughing because it would be the greatest kind of bizarre, which is what I love about Tommy. So just want to throw that out there. All right. Oh God, this hit 20 minutes. Okay. No. This is. I think that was in. This is why they send me the box for free. Is for shit like this. Now I get why you like my reviews when we do these. It's almost. You can always tell if we like a movie because it's short, and if we don't, it's very long. All right. All right. Well, that helps me finish the February box. So.
But yeah, no, that's definitely one of those movies we can sit down and completely rewrite.
Oh yeah. Well, that's because we're good. We're good at armchair filmmaking. All right. Let's do another. More movies. More movies for me. He's tired of our bullshit. Bye. All right, welcome. We are in February now, and it's not the first one we opened, but it's the first one I watched. We are looking at Open 24 Hours. This one has a lot going for it. It actually starts out very strong. It's very well shot. It's got a good location. The actors are good, especially what's his name? The guy that's been in a bunch of stuff now, Brendan Fletcher. I'm now legitimately a fan of his. He's cool to see show up. The main girl is good. All the characters are good. It's paced well. It doesn't really drag or anything. I watched it very late, so I did have to rewind a couple of times because I was just nodding off. Not the movie's fault. Again, sound design mostly good. A little bit of difference between the quiet and the loud, but nothing too egregious. And good rain work. I like the concept that she was with a boy that was a serial killer, and she watched because she kind of had, not Stockholm syndrome, but whatever kind of mental health things were keeping her, and the fear of trying to leave somebody who does that, and the way those flashbacks play and everything. And then it's a bit of a sort of a mind game about, well, what's really going on? Who's really doing what? Is this thing happening? And then there's elements of this that's clearly influenced by John Carpenter. As a matter of fact, they attempt a recreation of my all-time favorite John Carpenter shot, which is in the John Carpenter movie. It's The Fog. And you have it's actually the rare shot that's better in pan and scan than widescreen, I always thought. It's more of a jump scare in pan and scan because it's the car headlight and the fog, and then the silhouette of the hand and the sickle come into frame. There was a shot in this that's you had to be influenced by that shot from The Fog. I will say it does become a little disappointing. I was a little disappointed by the end because, again, it starts really strong. It has a really good setup.
and I thought it was going to be really great all the way through. But it gets a little convoluted by the end and a little, oh, okay. You kind of had potential to do something a lot more interesting than what you did. And then even there, some of the deaths feel like they should be pretty brutal and disturbing, but they're not quite as brutal and disturbing in their execution as you would hope. But again, that's super nitpicky. I'm not like terribly down on this. This was definitely worth checking out. I think it's available on Amazon Prime if you want to. I watched the disc on this one, but you know, I mean, it's pretty good. Just lower your expectations. Don't expect to be blown away by the ending or anything. And I wish they had gone a different direction than what they did, because there's also sort of some misdirects here that also pay off, but they also kind of just all happen. They'll start and then get finished so quickly that you're like, oh, I wish you'd played with that a little bit more, because you could have really messed with the audience mind a little bit more if you'd let that potential threat and issue linger and come in and out of the story a little bit more than it does. Because then once you're kind of done with that threat, then other stuff happens. And there is a little bit of like a mystery they could have pushed a little bit harder about, well, with all these killings going on, who is doing it? You know, is it in her head? Is it her? Is it the boyfriend? Is it the parole officer? Is it the boss? Is it the creepy dude? Is it the creepy truck driver? I mean, all those things, you know, I think you could have gone more into that. But unfortunately, they landed a little more point blank on the nose. So I was a little disappointed with that. But I didn't hate this. I mean, I enjoyed it. It wasn't like I was rolling my eyes, like, because I've seen some of these movies, and again, I will give all movies their credit for getting finished and getting distributed, because that's a miracle in itself. But I have seen movies where I'm like, oh my God, just end already, please be over. This was not one of those. Even when it was getting disappointing to me, I still very, very much enjoyed my time with it. And I thought the lead actor, she was excellent. I wouldn't mind seeing her in more stuff. And again, more Brendan, I just said it, Brendan Fletcher. Yeah, like I saw him. He's like 2 movies out of this box, or I guess one was January, one was February, but really appreciate him. Now they claim it's Don't Breathe meets House of the Devil. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's got a little bit of I don't know that it really has any Don't Breathe in it. Maybe a touch of House of the Devil, but I wouldn't say it really has either of those. Also on the front, the tagline is "Pray you never run out of gas." Like, that doesn't really ever play into anything. People do use the gas station, and for the most part, that has nothing really to do with the story. But I like the setup. That, you know, although I do have questions about, well, why was she in jail? Because she clearly... my camera just cut off on me for some reason. I don't know what that's about. Anyways, we'll just wrap it up then, because that's pretty much what I think about Open 24 Hours. So, I mean, is it worth a watch? You got nothing else? I mean, give it a go. You know, lower your expectations. Maybe have a good time with it. I'm glad I saw it. I can at least say I saw it. I don't know that it's something I'm dying to see again, but that's just me. Next movie. Bad Dreams. Me and a haircut. Oh, that's weird. Bad Dreams, the best of the Nightmares Film Festival. Yes, I finally got a haircut yesterday. Got it a little short. I got to fix some places still. That's going to bug me endlessly, isn't it? It's not so bad if I hold my head like, let's talk about this short film. So I actually loaded up the disc because I kind of want to mention each one a little bit, because I found this to be all over the place. Some of it I really liked. Some of it I was terribly bored by. Some of it I thought was like, what's the point? Also, fun thought that occurred to me during this is like, I've always stressed over doing shorts because like, I don't really have an idea good enough, or that doesn't really tell a story, or it really doesn't do that. And I'm starting to watch all these shorts again, and I'm realizing most shorts don't apparently tell a story. Sometimes they're just an idea, or it's like, okay, maybe I'm just trying too hard. Anyways, maybe I'll make a short again. Who knows? So we have the best of the Nightmare Film Festival. The other thing I don't like about this, and this is not Horror Pack's fault, because I know they probably did not author the actual disc. Maybe they did. Maybe some people will like this. And maybe I definitely don't have it wrong. You don't have an option to hit play all. I just have it play through them. So you do have to kind of play each one individually. And they range anywhere from like 7 minutes to like 22 minutes, something like that. But some of them have trailers and stuff. So I guess it's kind of neat that each one gets a little special feature. However, if you were going to make a page for each one of these, maybe throw a poster or a still frame or something, that'd be kind of nice too. But anyways, I ended up watching them in alphabetical order because that's how this is laid out, even though I'm trying to get back around to it. It's not exactly correct. Yeah, the menu authoring is a little bit weird. If you go right or left on the main menu, it automatically starts you on the last short. So I am backing all the way up so we can get there. So anyways, I know the first one was called Bad Acid. And though it doesn't really pay off 100,000%, it is really cool. I like the atmosphere of it, the attitude of it. They really did nail that kind of late 80s vibe, and performances and everything are fun. The credits in that are fantastic too, because there's almost like a little dance performance in time with the credits happening. So I thought that was really fun. So that's a really cool one. I quite enjoyed that. The second one we watched was Black Creek Trail. It has some pretty good tension and kind of a mystery question about what's actually going on here, but it's mostly just a conversation. And then the ending tag I thought was is a little too on the nose, a little too silly for me. So the ending, the very last shot, kind of ruined it for me, but it was pretty good up until then. And it does kind of put you in some of those what would you do kind of questions. So I'm cool with that. Then I watched Check the Locks. That board, I don't understand. That one did not work for me at all. I mean, I'm sorry to the filmmakers. More power to you. I'm sure other people liked it. It made it into the film festival. Somebody liked it, but it did not work for me. I don't know what it, maybe I was dozing, but it didn't make any sense to me. Leave the Baby Outside was pretty good. It's definitely one of those that can leave you scratching your head and thinking about what was actually going on there, what was the point of the story, but it's pretty fun. It has a pretty neat twist. It starts with kind of a and then just kind of keeps getting more and more, where's this going from there? And it's short and sweet and to the point, and I quite enjoyed that one. And then we have Love is a Fire. This has a gross out, a real big gross out in it. There's parts of it I really like. It started really well, but it doesn't, again, it's another one of those, like, there's a concept here, but it doesn't really do anything with it other than give you a gross out moment. I liked it. Like if it had been a little bit more, I probably would have liked it a lot more. Then we had Night Flirt. I honestly don't remember this one. Let me hit that play trailer button and see what it reminds me of. Oh, yeah, no, I just didn't know that's what this one was called. Oh, no, it took me out. It took me back to the main menu when I menued out. Night Flirt was great. And has the voice of Bill Moseley in it, so that's also a very beautiful addition that I quite appreciated. But I thought the acting was great. The story going on here is pretty creepy. It does go somewhere interesting and ends pretty well. And again, they nailed the atmosphere and the tone. The one thing that worries me, though, is they used a lot of 80s commercials, like actual 80s commercials in here, and I'm sure they did not license those, because there's some big deal commercials in there that I'm sure would not approve. However, they also use a lot of 900 call commercials, like real ones. That I don't feel as bad about, because I'm pretty sure, like, basically those things were all weren't exactly scams, but they're kind of scams anyway, so I don't feel bad if you're going to rip that off. And plus, I doubt they're going to come at anybody for copyright, because they're not, they weren't really caring, and I'm sure you couldn't even find anybody to clear that stuff anymore. But that was pretty cool. Really liked it. Loved Bill Moseley in that. That was fantastic. The Tunnel actually has a pretty great story going on. I wish it had a better ending. It's not a bad ending, but I do wish they had gone a little more interesting, or shown us a little more of the aftermath and the what happened at the end. But and I thought the acting is pretty good here. It's a little off, but it's not terribly off. I think one of the performances was a little bit better than the other. But yeah, I thought it was a really cool concept for a short, and I thought it played out really well and had some fun reveals. I just wish maybe they'd built into them a little bit more. But again, these are earlier filmmakers, earlier in their career, I assume, making these shorts. So that's somebody that's probably got some real talent coming up. Unbiden. What was that one? Let me click on that play trailer since we're almost at the end. Oh yeah, this is the one from the film school. Oh, this one's not bad. There's parts of it that bother me, like a little bit cheap, a little bit cheesy. But, oh, now it took me all the way to the front. Now that I want to be at the back. Well, that's lovely. What is with the authoring on this disc? Anyways, Unbiden, it's cool. It's got a really cool visual. Oh my God. Now it's always putting me at the start, no matter which way I go. That's wonderful. What the hell, man? Oh yeah, even just where the starting... God, you gotta author these things better. Whoever did this did a really bad job. I'm almost back to it. But Unbiden was pretty good. The ending was pretty good. I did like this one. I felt it could have been tightened. It could have been heightened and tightened. It did feel a little draggy, a little dull at times, even though it has a good idea and pretty good performances and everything. So it was worth watching. And then last but not least, no, I think we got two more. Velma. Fudge, which one was Velma? I don't remember this. Oh, okay, so Velma is hardly a horror, but it works. It's certainly
what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, you know what? I think I know why. Oh, hold on. I think I know what's up with the menu authoring. Again, it is bad. There we go. It's just, again, it's starting your play button on the wrong thing, and it's not super obvious what you have highlighted. Anyways, Velma, I mean, I like it. It goes on a little too long for its kind of one-note idea. It relishes itself a little too long to get there, and the payoff is not exactly worth as much time. Like, you could have done this in 2/3 the time, maybe. But, I mean, it's cool. It's poetic. The designs and the costume work is excellent, and, you know, it's definitely worth checking out. And then last on there is Viral. Viral was pretty dang good. They actually got a lot of their internet stuff correct. Usually things like this miss a lot of the point and a lot of purpose. I liked the characters. It's pretty interesting, but at the same time, it's kind of like, huh, at the end. And then there's a joke about ad revenue that I'm like, are you trying to be serious? Because maybe, but also, are you trying to make a joke? Because maybe. It doesn't quite land as clearly as I'd like. But overall, that was a fantastic Horror Pack exclusive. I'd love to see more like this. Just a bunch of collection of short films. Because, I don't know, shorts tend to work out better than some, not all, some of the more indie releases, like feature length they put out. So that is my thought on Bad Dreams, and I guess that finishes this box. And I am still rip-roaring through them, man. I'm proud of myself. Let's get to it. I'm going to go watch some more stuff. Enjoy the rest of this video. So there you go. Hopefully I had a good time with these. I have a good feeling. Hey, listen, if nothing else, I get to watch this. If nothing else, I get to satisfy my morbid curiosity. I guarantee I will not think this is as bad as people say it is. And if it is, I'm going to love it because it's that bad. Listen, I love The Room. I legit cried honest tears over the last Sharknado. What are you going to do? This is the one I'm most excited for, and it has a feeling might be my favorite. But honestly, because it's a bunch of short films from a bunch of different filmmakers, this could be a contender. I have a feeling there'll be at least 1 or 2 of these 10 that I'm gonna love. And if there's more like 5 or 6 that I love, this might actually be the first time the Horror Pack exclusive is my absolute favorite. I shouldn't say first time, because I feel like very early on in Horror Pack. I got in pretty early when I was originally subscribing. I have a lot of the early number spines, because again, they do number their spines. And we're up to 80. So I hope they keep this up with me for a couple more years. I'd love to get number 100. Watch them. They'll be like, we love you, Eric, but we're going to send you to 99, and then we're going to stop. And I'll be like, you sons of bitches. I love you too, but damn it. All right, so awesome. What do you think about these movies? What's your favorite Purge movie? Let me know. Definitely geek out with me in the comments. Can't wait to hear what you have to say. Don't forget my code, BloodyButts, to get yourself $3 off. And, of course, comment below. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. Other than that, you click the thumbs up button. Give me that spooky thumb of encouragement, as I do love to be encouraged. And look at that. Look at that. We got the other side of my hand. Beautiful artwork from my lovely lady. Look at that. What happens if you order merchandise from the Eric Butts store at planetzepo.com? I don't know. Random. All right, check me out, Eric Butts, anywhere, especially on Spotify or ericbutts.com. Find all your funky butts needs. Because we're getting funky in here. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, we're not over. We'll get through this. We'll get through this together. I've had a lot of grape juice. What do you want from me? I'm in a good place. What else do I say?
Are you asking me?
Maybe. You can find more stuff, more ways to support the channel, more links, more content by looking at the description below. Just click that See More Butts button. No, click that See More button. Yeah, I need to get rid of some of this butts. That's too much wiggle and wobble. Damn pandemic. Click that See More button. See More Butts. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go watch some awesome freaking horror movies and then watch some more stuff. And I'll see you all later.